Hi, everyone. I want to present to you a piece that I worked on. It's called Why I Consider Jesus Christ to be a Best Friend to Me and How He is a Good Role Model for Me. Ever since I was young and currently, I've always had challenges with my disability, which is autism, including a learning disability, along with a cognitive disability. Having it is a challenge for me because I struggle on comprehending on learning different advanced subjects at a certain pace. Sometimes I struggle to figure out how to communicate my thoughts at different social settings, including conversations or even on social media platforms, and I struggle with understanding people's personalities. Also, I get teased. Also, since I was young and currently, I've been a Christian for my whole entire life. Being a Christian is never easy, and it's a challenge for me on a daily basis or all the time. As a Christian myself, I have faced many hard times where I have dealt with too many people who are heavily religious, or some of my friends that are Christians would use Jesus' name as a way for bigotry, including hate against people with disabilities, and even make fun of me a lot. People who are very religious, or some of my Christian friends, would tell me that Jesus hates people with disabilities. People with disabilities should go to hell, and they shouldn't deserve to have equal rights, and they deserve to be hated for simply just being different in society. As a Christian, I've always enjoyed learning about Jesus' common sense philosophies and his advocacy for human rights, including the rights of people with disabilities, being a strong supporter of the fundamental principles of social justice policies, having the ability to want to show compassion, including kindness, along with understanding for people who struggle in life, having good ideas on wanting to help the poor or disadvantaged, or people who are poor or who struggle with disabilities or who struggle on a daily basis, supporting the fundamental principles of the need of universal health care to help people who are struggling with healthcare issues or pre-existing conditions get the care that they need. It is hard many times where too many people who are very religious, or some of my friends, want to use this Jesus' name as a way to hate against these common sense ideas. There are times where I get easily put down by them about simply just wanting to follow Jesus Christ's good philosophies. They tell me that I am an unfaithful person or a retard, or say other mean things too. Inside of myself, I feel hurt because as a Christian, I struggle with my disability, but I'm a person that wants to follow Jesus Christ's good philosophies whenever I get put down by other people or people who are very religious for wanting to follow Jesus Christ's good philosophies. Jesus would ask me, "How are you?" I'll tell him back that I am simply hurt and confused, and why would people want to use your name for a way to hate against the good ideas that you've always advocated for, like universal health care reform, or ways to help the poor, or other social justice causes? Jesus would tell me that it is very important for me to not give up on his philosophies. It is important for me to try to be an advocate or supporter of human rights, including the rights of people with disabilities, along with social justice policies and ways to help the poor. In society, I work in the food service industry for about 11 years, and currently it's a struggle to work in this fast paced environment because I struggle with multitasking in a fast paced environment. Also, I struggle on doing tasks too. This causes other coworkers to get upset with me or to even bully me or even call me names like retard or slowpoke. There are also times on my job where when I need help with a task, when I try to ask for help, there are times where some coworkers don't want to help me out. In this setting, I try to pay attention to details, work on critical thinking skills to understand how to multitask in a fast paced environment or to improve on tasks. I'm trying my hardest to talk to a manager or a supervisor who I know or who I can get along with to ask for feedback and how I can better improve myself. It's not easy being in this food service industry job because there are too many times where I can easily lose a job due to no fault of my own. Maybe it's because businesses aren't doing too well, or they are slow, or sometimes management changes, where it is likely that I can lose a job at any time. I have spent my time as a volunteer and helping my own community, like volunteering in a soup kitchen or in a food bank, or even working with a small community group on trying to provide food or grocery bags to people who are homeless or who are low income. As a volunteer, I try to do the best as I can to help others, or to even help people who are poor or people who are disadvantaged. I do this because I'm trying to follow Jesus Christ's good philosophies. I wanted to help the poor or disadvantaged and the importance of helping many people who struggle in life, whether they deal with poverty or other health issues. Being a volunteer with a disability has its challenges too. There are times where I struggle on doing tasks in a fast paced environment. Sometimes other volunteers aren't happy with me if I have difficulty on doing a task. There are times where other people who are homeless or people who are poor that I'm trying to help get aggressive or get mad at me just because we can't provide every food that they want to or other essential supplies when we run out of it, or if we try our best to accommodate everyone's needs. I take this guilt very seriously and aside of myself because sometimes when they get aggressive at me, they try to emphasize that I'm just a failure or that I am a horrible person just because I struggle. Or sometimes it is hard to provide everyone's needs. Also, I live with the guilt and ashamed when I struggle in the workplace, when I'm trying to navigate a workplace, or simply just trying to help others in volunteering. Jesus Christ again, he would talk to me again, and he would ask me, how am I doing? I tell Jesus that I'm trying my hardest to be a good worker in my job, where I try to learn how to improve on tasks to help other coworkers in a fast-paced environment. But I struggle with doing a task, and my disability makes it harder for me to do well in this job. I try my hardest to help the people who are poor or disadvantaged when I volunteer to make sure that they get food, but sometimes when I run out of food or other essential items where we can't help every provide everybody's needs, people will get aggressive or mad at me or easily get frustrated at me. I explained to him that I tried to work on critical thinking skills to help me improve in understanding how to multitask or doing different tasks. I try my hardest to be a compassionate and understanding of people who are poor or disadvantaged when they struggle in life, or if they simply just trying to get food or find food. I even expressed to him that when I volunteer, I try to pay attention to how many people are in line to make sure I can count how many bags of groceries that I can give out. And if I feel like I can give out more food, I try to tell them to wait 10 to 15 minutes and provide them with second bags of grocery. Jesus says back to me that he is proud of me for trying my hardest when I struggle with my disability. He is proud that I'm trying my best to use critical thinking skills to learn how to do tasks or to better improve myself. And he is proud that I am simply am just trying to follow his philosophies of trying to help the poor or disadvantaged or helping people get what they need, including helping others. In my day life, I've always struggled with a disability. I have dealt with getting hate for simply having trouble with understanding social cues, difficult fitting with other people's wants, including their needs, struggling to meet people's standards, have a difficulty on learning subjects, and many others. Also, there are times where many people, including some of my friends or other adults, like to use anti disability stigma, where they like to use bigotry or hate against people with disabilities like me. Also, there are times where adults and other people who I know like using this type of phrases. For example, they like to blame people with disabilities when the economy isn't doing too well, or when they're simply just making statements that people with disabilities are trying to commit fraud on healthcare services, or that people with disabilities are basically not good people for society, or that they are lazy. I have also dealt with physical harassment, like being hit at or being spit at for simply just having a disability. Another thing to add is I deal with people get close to my face and say gross or hateful things, which makes me uncomfortable. Also, I get made fun of by women, including girls, where they make fun of me for having a disability, or if I struggle with social cues and they call me mean names like retard or slowpoke. Also, they tell me that I'm ugly or how they think I look fat, or sometimes make inappropriate sexual remarks about me. I try my best to be a human being with good principles, like being kind, understanding, compassionate, trying my best to think of others, using critical thinking skills, and many others. I tried my hardest to think of good thoughts, including positive vibes to many people, including people who I know or people who I'm inspired by when they face challenges in life or when they're simply just trying to be creative or even if they make good achievements. When people say mean things or try to do other physical harassments like spitting at me, I do the best as I can to stay calm and not be provoked. But sometimes I feel a little hurt or angry or sadness. On a regular basis, I don't really have many friends or people who are appreciative or understanding of me for trying to be a human being with good principles, using critical thinking skills to improve myself on learning or to educate myself to navigate society. I have dealt with people who make fun of me and call me lame and a retard because I have an interest in learning history or social justice or trying to be creative on ways to learn better, like using technology along with some forms of AI to assist me on reading materials, including articles online, using a recorder to assist me to help me with writing, along with have it read back to me to help me process my thoughts, and also record my speech to help me with my writing skills. Watching documentaries, including TV or talk shows with closed captions to assist my skills, reading short biographies, books, or kit books to help expand on my comprehension, or using audiobooks to assist me on comprehension skills or to help me understand what the book is about. Whenever it gets hard where people make fun of me, put me down, or when girls, including women, make fun of me for being different, or struggle with social cues, or they think that I'm ugly or stupid, I feel ashamed all the time. It is hard for me to talk to other people about my struggles because people think that I'm a negative person, or that I'm a Debbie Downer, or that I am simply just a stupid person. I'm just having struggles with my disability, but other people like to use negative or bigotry or hate against me for struggling with a disability. All I can do is keep myself at bay, try not to be provoked, and try to self reflect on my thoughts. I pray to Jesus. He asks me again, how are you doing? How is your day? What are you feeling? To be honest, I tell Jesus that every day or every year or every month is harder for me. I know that I struggle with my disability, where it impacts me on doing well in society. It impacts me on not having enough friends because I can't meet everybody's needs, or that I am simply struggling with social cues, or if I can't meet other people's standards. Also, it is hard for me when people who I know aren't appreciative of me for trying my best to be a human being with good principles or trying to improve myself for the better. And that I have difficulty on processing information or to even comprehend on materials. I feel ashamed about my body a lot when people make fun of me, when people will tell me that I am ugly, or a retard, or a slowpoke, or other people assume that I am fat. I tell him that I'm trying my best to be creative at learning while using critical thinking skills. I like to learn history, including other famous people or different individuals, including you, to help inspire me to try to continue to learn the importance of social justice policies, including human rights, along with the rights of people with disabilities, protect the environment from pollution, and other common sense ideas. I'm trying my hardest to find ways to improve my body image. I try to work on improvements on hygiene care, make sure that I wear clothing that I feel comfortable, and also to work on improving my ways of improvements on healthy lifestyles of trying to do exercising, but also try to find ways to maintain my weight or to even get better access to nutrition. Learning things is never easy because my challenges with my disability impacts me. I am trying to process every information at advanced pace. There are times I get easily lost on understanding topics or when people talk about advanced subjects that I cannot even process. I'm trying my hardest to be creative. I'm on finding different strategies to help me process information or to educate myself on different topics. Jesus would say to me that he is proud of me for trying my hardest to be a good friend or a human being who wants to do good things, even though I struggle with my disability. Or when people get mean at me, or when people, including people who I know, aren't appreciative of me. He tells me that he understands that I struggle in society, or sometimes I make mistakes, or sometimes it is hard for me to improve myself. But he likes on how I have the audacity on, and having the ability of wanting to be a better human being or wanting to improve myself for the better. He tells me that him, God, all the famous people that I admire, some of my relatives that had passed away, including my best friend who had passed away, are looking down at me and knowing that I am simply just a human being who really wants to do good things and who knows that when I'm struggle with my disability or if I deal with the hate, that they hope that I can continue on and trying to be on a good path. And they want to make sure that I continue to have the good principles that I had previously mentioned. Also, Jesus tells me that there is a spot in heaven for me for trying my best to be a human being who wants to do good things if I can't continue to do well in society or if I pass away. He also tells me that I'm a unique disciple because he is inspired by how I'm trying to be creative, on doing critical thinking, want to do good principles, want to advocate for his philosophies of good social justice policies, wanting to help others as the best as I can. I know it is awkward or strange to talk about why Jesus Christ is a best friend or is a friend to me. But the reasons why I feel like Jesus is a best friend and a friend to me, it's because he doesn't judge me in a bad way. He understands that I have challenges with my disability. He knows that I'm trying my best to be a human being who wants to do good things, who uses critical thinking skills along with creativity to navigate a society where it is filled with bigotry and hate. It is hard for me to communicate with other people about my challenges or my struggles, or to even share with people how I'm trying to be a good person because it gets rejected by too many people, including some of my friends, and people aren't appreciative of me for working hard or trying to be creative with critical thinking or wanting to work on improving myself for the better or wanting to do good things. I'm trying to be a better person. I live on a daily basis where I don't have many friends or many people who are appreciative of me for trying my hardest to be a good person, wanting to help other people when they struggle, doing the best as I can to be a good friend to people who I care about, wanting to be creative with critical thinking and many strategies to learn about different topics or to learn how to navigate the society that is broken. Also, as a Christian myself, I have dealt many times where I am conflicted about being a Christian because I've seen too many people who are very religious, or some of my friends that are Christians, where they like to use Jesus' name for hateful policies or bigotry, and even like to use hateful rhetoric against people with disabilities like me. Also, it is hard in society too when we have too many politicians, including members of our judicial system, that like to express hate against people with disabilities, which makes me even sad. It is good to have Jesus Christ to remind me that it's okay for me to be a human being who wants to do good things despite my struggles with a disability. It's important for me not to give up on his fundamental good principles, along with social justice, including human rights, along with the rights of people with disabilities, and not to give up on critical thinking skills. Again, I am very appreciative on how Jesus Christ takes the time to listen to me, to understand that I am just a human being when I struggle in life, or if I have challenges with my disability, or sometimes I easily make mistakes. Also, I am very proud on how Jesus Christ reminds me that he and other famous people that I admire, some of my relatives, including my best friend who passed away, are watching over me and wanting me to try to do the best as I can, and knowing that I am simply just a human being in a society where it is broken, when people are addicted to bigotry, including hate, or if I get spit on for struggling with a disability, and they also want to know that, and also to think that I really want to be a better person, and knowing that they are proud of me for trying my best. I pray to Jesus all the time, and I listen to his messages back to me. I hope that you enjoyed my speech about why Jesus Christ is a best friend to me, and how it feels comfortable knowing that Jesus Christ, including some of my relatives, including my best friend who passed away, and many famous people that I admired or inspired by, are watching over me and wanted to make sure that I continue to be on a good path, to have good principles with critical thinking skills, be an advocate for social justice policies, and um, not to be an angry person, and to continue on trying to follow Jesus Christ's good philosophies on human rights, including the rights of people with disabilities, and for me not to give on compassion, understanding, kindness, and critical thinking. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my speech. I hope this speech is inspiring to many of you who are going through difficult times. Also, I hope that my speech is inspiring to many Christians who are losing motivation in life when the world is tough or is broken. Thank you.